What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. As you saw in the little intro there, I decided, I don't know if you can figure it out, I decided to start messing with the door locks on the 240. Well, the main thing, I actually wanted to come out to smoke a cigar, but it's pretty damn cold out, and I didn't feel like sitting outside, so I decided I'll go to the garage, and if I'm going to the garage, might as well mess around with the car. Lower, you guys are pretty damn high right now. So, this is the lock off of the car, and this is the brand new one I bought off eBay. Now, before we get into this, let's take a step back. Last year, I decided to go to a car meet. It was on a Sunday, and it was supposed to rain. And I decided, you know what, let me just go for a little bit, and I'll come back. It wasn't too far. So at the car meet, actually, Tommy Yethia was there, so I think my car was briefly in his video from that event. For whatever reason, I decided, hey, let me go into the trunk of my car using the key. I don't know why, when I could have just popped it from inside the car, and there was nothing for me to get from the trunk, but I don't know why I was opening it. So I went to open the trunk and put the key in, tried to turn it, didn't really open. So it's been a little hard to open, and this happened. So key broke off in the trunk, which is what was in my hand, and we were able to get this little bit out here, and there was another piece that came off of it somewhere, but no good. So then I remember I have a switch panel, so let me just rewire that since I was having a little trouble starting the car from the button, and I've been using the ignition cylinder, but let me rewire that, get the car started. So I rewired this, and well, it's not wired up now because, yeah, but rewired this, got the car started. Awesome, car started. I was like, we got this damn thing started. It took me about an hour because I didn't realize I actually popped the fuse, fixed that, got the car started, warmed it up, time to get out of here. Drive out of the spot. And the steering wheel locked on me. Shit. Steering wheel locked on me, so we just backed it. So I backed it back into the spot and just waited. Shout out all these guys because they were there with me the whole time. So go follow them on Instagram. My friend, specifically John, he went back to his house, drove his car back to get his trailer, came back to pick me up. Friend Jiff hung out with me, went to his house, get a jack. We removed the tie rods so we could actually push the car onto the trailer because the wheels were turned to the side. And the rest is history. So if you want to relive that miserable day with me, go check out the video. I'll link it up there. One of the worst days of my life. It was horrible. Did I mention it was cold out too? And raining? There are parts of the story I'm leaving out, like my windshield wipers didn't work and it was raining, so I guess things happen for a reason. I was saying that we did extract the key, tried to put it in the ignition, and we couldn't get it turned, so a lot of L's that day. Then fast forward a few weeks from then, I wound up buying a whole new ignition cylinder and a whole new door lock. So it just came with the two. What I wound up doing, I changed the ignition cylinder, and because I had the grind, hold on. If you look right there, that's the top of the ignition cylinder. See that little slot? That had to be cut in the bolts to take them out. So that's obviously like an anti-theft thing, so you want those flat where you can't tighten those or loosen them so no one steals your car. But I didn't have anything to do that while I was out at the meet. Fast forward a little bit, bought a new ignition cylinder, new door lock, changed one, and then the second one I took out. It turned out that I couldn't get my hands in there good enough because there's not a lot of space. Couldn't get my hands in there good enough to take the rest of to install the new one. I was barely able to just use like the tips of my finger to do it. And I believe I have to take out the glass. So that's where we are today. So I know this isn't gonna work for the trunk or the passenger side door, but as long as you can get in the driver's door, then you'll be able to open the other stuff. So it's not ideal, should be changing all of them, but the only one I could find was just the ignition cylinder and the driver's door. Now looking at these, I forgot which one was which. This one has a little red on it, and my car was originally red before I bought it. So I thought this was the stock one, but this seems to be the one that's actually working. So this is going to be the one going in the car. So what I'm doing here is taking off, looking around the perimeter of the door card, and there's a couple screws. I'm definitely missing a lot of them. There's also, don't forget the screw in the little door pull, and then the clip that might be a little annoying to take out that controls your door locks and your mirrors. Now, like I was just explaining, car used to be red, so that's why I thought that door lock was for this, but turns out it's not. This part's going to be a little difficult to film because it's very tight in there and very dark, but I'm going to do my best to explain what I'm doing, even though I may not actually know what I'm doing right now, but by the end I'll know what I was doing. First mistake I made is I forgot to roll the window up. Right behind the glass in there, that's the door handle. That's me operating the door handle. So you're going to have to plug that back in to roll the window up and then start disassembling that because as you see, that's blocked by the window. I think I know now why I didn't do this earlier, because it's a little bit more than I want to deal with, but looks like it's got to happen. There's a lot of screws holding this in, and I already stabbed myself on something. I was gonna see if I could just take out the glass itself, but this track right here I believe is still blocking me, and that's annoying. So what I'm doing, I obviously don't know what bolts have to come out to remove this glass, but I'm going around trying to figure out what it is, remove one at a time, see what loosens up, and then just continue. So right now, those top ones you just saw me loosen up seem to just hold the glass against the seal. So those are loose to make it a little more, give it a little more play to come out. At some point, I don't know if those have to be removed completely. I hope not. I don't know if I should just keep going up and down with this, because this might be the motor, the gear right here that needs to come out. Hopefully I don't have to continue taking stuff off. And now you're watching me get to the part of actually taking the glass out. So I did figure out an easier way to give yourself a little bit more space, and I explained that towards the end, but just watch me struggle. That wasn't very difficult. I probably didn't have to take all the bolts out that I did take out, but you definitely need to get that rod out because that's blocking, and you have to get the glass out, which I'm not sure if that's going to go back in very easily. Probably going to have to figure out how that lines up with this track. As you see, this video is not as much of like a how-to, but it's more of like a you can too. This is usually my process on doing these things. When I was building the engine, obviously I was following along to the service manuals for all the specs and stuff. But something like this, you could conquer also. As you see what I'm doing, you just kind of like take some stuff apart, see what moves, and I guess reverse engineer it, kind of. You just gotta look what you're doing, see what's connected, and reverse that. I'm gonna show you guys in here because it's gonna be tough to film, and I don't remember what's gonna go where. Yes, it's gonna be torture. So if you look in here, here's the door lock. So that's your handle. Your door lock is over there. I believe that nut actually holds it in. I was able to get that back on. And there's a bar in here somewhere that's got to connect to that. So when you turn it, it locks this from working. But that's going to take a little investigatory work here just to find where that bar is. So looking in there with the bolt, you actually have this little access hole here. Your lock is going to sit like that, which is up to the top for the hole to hold it in. Then you have to find the bar, it's got to go through here, and then this little clip is going to go on here, if I remember correctly. Problem is, I don't see the bar. So let me look for it. I'll do my best to explain this. It's kind of tight quarters to show, but that's the bar right there. So this is going to get latched back there somewhere. Right over there is the bar. That's where the door lock's going to be, which is going to be very tight. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this, but that thing down there, it lifts. When you lock it, it lifts, and when you unlock it, lowers it, or vice versa. I don't know which one's which, and that in turn makes this work or not work. Makes sense, but kind of hard to get to, so let's attempt this. I screwed myself. I wanted to smoke the cigar because my hands are numb right now. It's 25 degrees, so it's about 25 degrees in here because obviously the garage door is wide open. Bad idea. I also got new Crocs, the furry ones, and I decided I'm not going to wear those because I don't want to destroy them right now, and my feet are crying right now. Got my beaters on though. Got a little trick for you guys. When you ever have to reach where your hands can't start the nut, and you need to reach and hopefully the nut stays on the socket, take a piece of electrical tape, put it on your nut. That's what you're gonna look like. Not going anywhere. Now this is me just using that little access hole and that little trick I just showed you guys with the electrical tape to get that nut started. All right, moment of truth, boys. Ooh. I think it's working. Yep. Need that key. Yeah. Woo! Pretty hyped with that. Very easy task. A little annoying because it was a little too cold in here. Finally closed the garage door, got a heater going, so hopefully my hands thaw out. Just gonna do the reverse now. Figure out how this just gotta figure out how this glass goes back in the easy way. Gonna throw some gloves on for this because this damn thing's greasy and my hands were getting a little greasy before, so gonna throw those back on, start getting the glass back in. Actually, let me clean the glass first. In this clip now, you're watching me reassemble everything, so I'm trying to get everything as close as possible to where it was, just to get the window back in. And you see me trying to adjust where the track is that actually holds the glass in. Just try to do your best. And this is take 2 of trying to put the glass in, and I explained it a little bit that piece of trim was in the way, but we got it in, guys. As you saw when I was putting the glass in, there was a bracket there. There's a bracket in that goes on the back side of that. It was a 10mm. I think this is just to hold the window from extending too far or making it harder to take out for some reason, but there was a bracket hitting that. Just took that off. The nut is in the door somewhere. Not putting that back. So I'm just gonna clean this glass up before I put the door card back in, just so I could get that lip down there. When I was putting it back in, there's a screw here that holds this trim on. So I popped that holds this trim on right here. So I popped that screw out to give myself a little bit more room to slide the glass in. It seemed like that was the only way to do it. Slid back in, was getting caught on the mirror. So you're probably supposed to take the mirror off too, or at least you take the outside of the mirror off so you can take the rest of the trim out. But it's in, it's working. You saw the window go up and down. So let me clean that, throw the door card back in. One other thing, don't be like me. Before you put the door card back on, check to make sure your window lines up perfectly, because I had to take the door card back off, make sure the window lines up. I closed the door originally. I could actually stick my finger behind that, so check your alignment of the window before you close everything up. It was a little hard to film, so lucky you, I have another door lock. So this is your door lock right here. This is the side that's facing out to you, obviously, and now this is the inside. So this is how it gets bolted up. That's the top of it. The rod is gonna sit in that hole right there, and then you're gonna flip this down. It's kind of like a lock to snap around the rod, and that's it. It's pretty simple. So maybe like tomorrow or the next day, someday soon, I'm gonna go get this key made. So this is the original key. This is how broken it was. This is the key. Bought this off eBay. And then this is the other key. Just got to get this cut onto here, and then we'll be good. So then we have a spare, because you got to practice what you preach here, and I don't want that happening to me again. Even though I'll be able to get home as long as I could get the doors open, I'll be able to get home this time because I have tools with me all the time. Get the key made. So if you made it this far in the video, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I might be selling this car. And if you made it this far, leave in the comments, 240SX for life. So since I let you in on that little bit of information, there'll probably be a full video coming up on my thinking and reasoning behind that. So stay tuned for that video to come soon-ish. There's gonna be a little series of me fixing some small items with this car where even if I don't decide to do that, I'll have things that are fixed. So thanks for joining me on this one. Hopefully it was a little bit of informative for you. Going into it, I had no idea how to do it, and just taking stuff apart and figuring it out is how you figure it out a bunch of times. So don't be discouraged if you're ever trying to do this yourself or have a small little project like that. And that's that. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me some comments down below. I upload every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday at 3 p.m. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.